Camp Mystic officials say they hope to reopen in about 6 weeks. The Kerr County camp was the site of a devastating flash flood last summer that killed 27 campers and counselors.
To open, the camp needs a state license. Tonight, a growing number of families who lost loved ones are calling on the state to deny the camp's request for one.
KVUE's Daniel Perot joins us now in our newsroom. And Daniel, this all comes as multiple state investigations are underway into the camp.
That's right. The Texas Department of State Health Services says it has received hundreds of complaints about Camp Mystic's operations last summer, and they're currently investigating those with the help of the Texas Rangers. Meantime, at the state capitol, an investigatory committee in the Texas legislature is also looking for answers. So as both of those things continue, family members of Camp Mystic victims are saying that they believe that the gates of Camp Mystic should remain shut.
It is so clear that they are incapable of keeping children safe.
Emotional pleas from the families of Heavens 27 asking state regulators not to let Camp Mystic reopen.
The camp should not continue under the same reckless leadership of the Eastland family.
Will and Cece Stord's daughter Seal is still missing after the July 4th flooding. As part of their lawsuit against the camp, this week a judge ordered Camp Mystic to preserve cabins and land affected by the flooding.
For every parent waiting to send your kid back there, I hope their name's Eastland, because you're rolling the dice.
In letters first obtained by the Washington Post and verified by KVUE, half a dozen other families, including 3 from Austin, sent letters to state regulators asking them to deny Camp Mystic a new license to open its Cypress Lake site this summer, which did not flood and is on higher ground. Nearly 900 girls have already registered to attend. The letters echo what families and their attorneys have said in court, that Camp Mystic leaders failed to prepare for the flooding and waited too long to evacuate girls.
27 girls died because of that failure, correct? Yes, sir.
The Eastland family, which owns Camp Mystic, testified this week they did all they could to save the girls in the face of unprecedented flooding.
All of the expectation about the way that river usually floods coming up from the Guadalupe River was exactly backwards for what happened.
Jenny and Doug Getton, whose 9-year-old daughter Ellen died in the flooding, disagree.
There were several able-bodied people, including nurses and first responders, available to go cabin to cabin to evacuate these girls. And that didn't happen.
The families say the camp shouldn't get a new license until investigations are completed. There's accountability for Camp Mystic leaders and steps taken to prevent future tragedies. The stewards say they're not anti-camp. They just don't want other families to feel the pain they have.
This is already a gut-wrenching experience, but to have no answers allows for your mind to wander in a way that is unhealthy, and that lasts a lifetime.
Some state leaders, including the Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, have called on the State Health Department to not issue Camp Mystic a new license. The state agency says that it's going to take into account everything here: the inspection that it's going to do of Camp Mystic, the results of the investigation into the complaints, as well as the findings from state lawmakers in their investigation. The investigatory committee says that it plans to wrap up its work soon and have a hearing and issue a final report by early this summer.